I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
All right.
Action. Cut.
Nice.
Whatever the fuck it is.
You must know at this point, right?
Yeah, of course. You know, it takes a lot of intelligence to play the fool, as they say. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
Though sometimes I do legitimately forget.
Oh my God, I got
what?
Well, there's a big, this is going to be a weird episode. I got to just say some things up top here.
Yeah, say some things.
Well, I watched this movie the other day on a plane, which watching a movie on a plane, would you agree? It doesn't really count as watching the movie. Don't you feel?
Yeah. It's kind of like when I watch a movie on an elliptical. It's like definitely not the full cinematic experience.
Yeah, because it's small and it's hard to hear. It's very noisy on a plane, and there's people next to you. You're self-conscious. You're looking at what other people are watching.
Right.
And then if there's any kind of sex or tits, you get a boner, you feel weird.
And then you're like worried someone's just going to watch the movie with you. Cause I do that sometimes. I'll like watch someone else's movie.
Yeah. Fahim Anwar has a great bit about it.
Well, it feels like you're like just intruding, you know what I mean? In their world.
And you can feel them going, they're like,
no way, get out of this. This is a private screening.
Yeah. Fahim's bit is just about you end up watching the other person's movie, and he's like, I don't know, he's watching Frozen, and they're like, his girlfriend or something is like, you have it on your screen. He's like, I want to watch it on their screen. It's very funny. He's very funny.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. And a great actor. If you don't know him, I mean, he's more popular than me. I don't need to fucking be like, check him out. But like, well, whatever, check him out. He's great at act outs too, which is like a rare thing these days. You know what I mean?
No, he's so funny, and he has the best videos. He's got great dance video. I got like a little thing for the guy, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's a little obvious, but
when he goes, he's got a joke about having a bee around you, and he's like, here's a Coke can. Here's an old Coke can. He doesn't act out. I mean, the guy's just hilarious, pure joy.
Yeah, it's hard to get someone who's a good writer and does act outs. You know what I mean?
And is like
basically him and Brian Regan, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I do some act notes, but I mean, DePaulo.
Raise your eyebrows.
DePaulo, when DePaulo does characters and voices, it's the funniest thing in the world because he's so serious and angry.
Right.
And then he'll do like Willie Whistle or something, and you're just on the floor.
It's good. Yeah, it's not just them two. It's them three. That's it. No other ones. But broadcast news on the plane. I get it, but it's not exactly Apocalypse Now. It's not like the most cinematic movie. It's a dialogue movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I also wasn't taking notes and everything. I feel like I'm not going to have anything to say here.
Sucks because I have all these notes. This is going to be
great.
Off-sided, top-sided, lopsided, or whatever. Because this is like my Field of Dreams. This is one of my childhood favorite movies.
Oh, I'm gonna just annihilate this movie then.
Really?
Field of Dreams is better than broadcast news.
Well, I can't even hear that statement. It's like so wrong that my brain refuses to acknowledge its existence. This is the movie. You know how you go through life and you have a favorite movie and it changes, but if you look back at your life, there's like a list of what years your favorite movies were. You know what I'm saying?
No, not really. Well, first of all, I can't just quickly understand it because we have to fill an hour. We only have one movie, and I don't give a shit about the movie. So I got to come up with some stuff. I thought we would riff for like 20 before we got into this.
We can riff more. I was just saying favorite movies, like for 5-6 years, my favorite movie was Jaws, and then it was Rosemary's Baby. But then from when I was 16 to maybe 22 was broadcast news. So that's a big period. It was when people ask me my favorite movie, I'd say broadcast news.
That's interesting. I mean, that is fascinating. First of all, now it's Sideways. Can you just say that this year I convinced you and you started having Sideways as your favorite movie?
No, can I tell you why Sideways is not it's my top 5. Can I tell you why it's not number 1? And this
Please,
is
make it long. We got an hour.
This is a thing, a personal criteria. I love Sideways. It doesn't make me cry. The movie that makes me cry gets number 1. That's a personal
Network
criteria.
makes you cry.
Network.
Boredom, tears of boredom, or whatever. Nashville. I confuse Nashville and Network. They're like Nashville, the same year. They're both, whatever.
Nashville makes me weep like a bitch, like a baby. Like
because you're bored, because you want to be doing something else.
What do you can't accept that I love this movie just because you're bored during it. Look, it's not, it takes a lot of patience and sophistication, but
send me the article where Pauline Kael said it's her favorite movie. That's what I want to read.
First of all, the part that makes me cry is the ending. You don't think the ending's powerful? I mean, it's one of the
powerful. It's a good ending. I like the credits. I'm happy when it's over.
The movie the movie that makes me cry is the one I gotta say. Because crying for me, I don't cry in real life. You know what I mean? I'm emotionally inept, mentally handicapped. I'm, I'm traumatized, fat, Jewish. You know what I'm trying to say. And so I don't cry in life, but I cry in movies. That's where I get my emotions out. So for me, the movie that makes me cry goes beyond, like, intellectually, Sideways is my favorite movie, but the movies that make me cry go beyond the intellect into some other place, But
here's an interesting thing. Why doesn't Sideways make you cry? What is it that lacks the crying? Because the end, it's so touching and depressing. And the very end tears me up when he goes back there and he gets the voicemail and he's going up there and there's hope and he rings that doorbell. Are you kidding me?
I find Sideways very moving, but crying is what makes your gut laugh. You know what I mean? You can't really choose. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, like, the guy in Old School makes me gut laugh. For me, crying is like a very specific criteria. Sideways, I love Sideways. I think it's extremely moving, but I think crying involves something else, and I'm not exactly sure what it always is, but the end of Nashville, when she gets shot, I guess it's the violence of it. And then they're all singing that song, and they're all so scared and alone right there, but they're singing together. Something about that vulnerability and that fear while also singing this like hopeful song is like so powerful to me. I mean, maybe it's like the music, I don't know, but it's weird. The thing that make me cry is Gangs in New York. The opening makes me cry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm doing this podcast anymore. I mean, well, in that case, Rudy's my number one. I mean, have you seen Rudy?
I haven't seen it. We're gonna do it on the pod. I haven't seen it. But
I mean, Rudy makes me cry. The dad,
Rudy.
You know,
have it number one. Yeah,
I mean, Rudy might overtake Network because it makes you cry, but it only takes 90 minutes to make you cry, as opposed to 2 hours and 40 minutes of Nashville.
Well, look, broadcast news does not make me cry, but broadcast news is. Are you surprised it was one of my favorite movies? Because I feel like there's an obvious reason.
I'm not surprised. I mean, okay. I'm not surprised by it. It's a movie I saw when I was young and I liked it. And I like it now. I do like it. Let me just say this real quick before we get fully into broadcast.
You really
news.
Want to riff. Yeah. We'll riff.
I do. Last night, and we're riffing about movies because I've watched 2 movies since last time I talked to you. Last night, I had this thing when you don't drink on the road, your only hope is either sports or movies on TV. Because I don't watch shit on a computer. I don't know why. I never figured out how to like have Netflix on my computer and then watch shows.
That's insane. But yeah, okay.
Well, I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm just dumb. I don't want to do it. So last night I had 2 shows. The second show I got heckled just brutally. The woman
you told
really
me that. They called you an ugly mouth breather? What was it?
Yeah, and I had to push back on mouth breather. I'm like, I don't breathe out of my mouth.
You accepted the ugly by that. That's classic.
I'm doing my own bit about ugly. And it took a lot of restraint and pen and tongue. I was proud of myself to not eviscerate her because she wasn't exactly attractive. And I could have been like, you're an ugly fucking cunt, you piece of shit.
Ooh.
And I didn't, because she had a boyfriend and it's Texas. He might have shot me. But I got through it. But anyway, it just stunk. And then the show was undersold. It was like I sold out one and then the second one was just whatever. It ended up being fun. But I came back here. I put on Axis TV, and The Last Waltz is on.
Last Waltz. Love The Last Waltz. Great show.
I mean, what a treasure.
I love when Dylan comes out in that Kentucky Derby hat, just dressed like he's a fucking like an old lady at a Kentucky Derby. It's quite the outfit. And
he almost ruined the movie. He tried to bail at the last minute. They had to go beg him and shit.
Yeah, he was being real hard to get for that one. But it's a great. I mean the weight the version of that is incredible.
It's awesome. The whole thing is awesome. And then today I went and saw this movie called The Pink Cloud. Have you seen it? Have you heard about it?
No, I don't even know what that is. Sounds foreign.
Oh, you got to see it. You got to see it. What movie is this? Oh, you got to see it. It's historical.
I don't even know. It doesn't even ring a bell.
It's Albert Brooks, Lost in America.
Lost in America, Easy Rider. Yeah. We're to the cop.
Oh, that movie. We got to do an episode about Lost in America.
We got to do Albert Brooks, the greatest comedy from the 80s. We should do Lost in America, Defending Your Life.
Not Modern Romance?
Well, we could do Modern Romance. Maybe we'll do all 3. I don't know. I mean, I love Albert Brooks. He is his comedy from the 80s take your Caddyshack, take your Meatballs, shove them up your ass. The Albert Brooks movies from the 80s are the ones the least dated and the funniest. Like every other 80s comedy is like dated. People are like, oh, it's brilliant. And then you watch it and it's like a date rape and a gang rape and like a crime and like 2 jokes or whatever.
But
like, it's the greatest comedy ever. You turn it on, it's just 12 nerds raping a girl in an alley. And you're like, what? But like Albert Brooks is the opposite. His comedies are so ahead of their time. They're like curved, they're nuanced, you can watch them over and over again. They're not jokey. It's like incredible. Yeah.
I want this on the record. Maybe I've said it before. Lost in America. Right now, if you haven't seen it, pause this and go watch it. It is the single most underrated film,
it's incredible,
I think, of all time. It's weird that people don't talk about this movie more often. It's weird that people don't name it as one of their favorite comedians. Most people I talk to have never heard of this movie,
which is insane. It
is a masterpiece, and he is so funny, and he's the best part of broadcast news, the leading to broadcast news. Well, when he keeps referencing Easy Rider, and he goes, you got to see it. It's historical. It's amazing. And he's talking to fucking Gary Marshall, who's trying to convince him to give his money back, and he has to stop. I mean, one of the greatest scenes ever. It's not even an actor, Gary Marshall. He's like, you're a good guy. You make me laugh and everything. I mean, unbelievable.
The switch from just trying to be a hippie and not care about money to the true murderous rage he has for his wife when she loses his money is one of the funniest like flips ever. To be like, we don't care. We're just going to go out on the road. And then him just having a nervous breakdown. It's great. And also, if you watch it, you'll be like, oh, I've seen this before, because The Simpsons and Family Guy have both stolen that plot of the repressed wife losing all the money at the casino. That's been stolen by a lot of things. I mean, and
Julie Haggerty should have won the Academy Award. And I'm very attracted to her because she's so funny and petite and cute. But I mean, she should have won an Oscar. She's unbelievable in the movie. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, we are different tastes.
Well, I'm all personality. She's hilarious. She's just so funny and so good.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, I still like it's. I guess you're right. I mean, but it's a character. Are you attracted to her as an actress or like the character?
I'm attracted to the actor. The actor performer. I mean, the character. So the actor is so good.
You're attracted to her talent.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I guess you're woke. You're very woke.
Woke.
I think so. You might be woke. I mean, you're like, I'm attracted to talent, and well, I guess that should just be how it is. Or maybe
I don't know if I'm woke.
Like, you're so woke, you're into a woman for her personality. You're so fucking
well, I'm not masturbating in elementary school. By the way, hit the Patreon. We got some great Patreon. I'm proud of our Patreon.
I revealed too much on the last one.
I know, that's why they should get on. That's a good teaser. I mean, Raanan literally admitted to sex crimes on the Patreon.
We cannot use that as a teaser. Find out.
It's good though.
You'll have to go on the Patreon to find out who Raanan date raped.
It's spicy stuff. It's very funny and it's good. I mean, I'm very proud of our Patreon that we have a lot of bonuses and they're very good.
Patreon. I had a joke once where I said, I'm not trying, but like, it's just crazy. Like, I had a joke once where I said, a woman once accused me of date rape, which is crazy because at no point did I give her the impression it was a date, you know? It's like, can I just rape you as a friend? Whatever. It's a stupid joke. But isn't it crazy there was a time where I could literally make a joke where the premise was I was accused of rape? It's just not worried because it was a joke. It's just crazy. Like, that was
unbelievable. I was watching Louis Anderson's set where he does like 5 straight minutes of fat jokes. You couldn't even do that. You can't even make fun of yourself for being fat. The crowd would turn on you.
Oh yeah. No, you could. Yeah. You'd be like, quit fat shaming yourself. They'd be offended on your behalf.
Literally.
You know? He was the king of the fat joke. He perfected it.
Let me get this one thing out about Pink Cloud.
Also, I didn't actually date rape. I mean, let me just also clarify. It was just talking about how I jacked off in high school.
Well, don't blow it because then they're not going to get the Patreon.
I don't want them to think I'm a fucking predator or whatever.
Do you really think they're going to take me earnestly as like he's a predator? Let's go find out. They're going to say that sounds funny.
All right, fine. It's a complicated time. You never know.
Okay, anyway, let me just tell you about Pink Cloud, and then we'll move right on to this horseshit movie.
What the fuck? This is so upsetting. I am like, this is the most excited I've been to talk about a movie, and you're like,
no, I like the movie.
All right. Talk about whatever. Good. Talk about Red Cloud, whatever the fuck. Is this a foreign? This has to be a foreign film.
It's a foreign film. I think it's Brazilian. But listen to this plot.
Love to do the color and then an object. It's like red kite, pink cloud, blue ball. Anyway, Tell me the plot.
Are you through?
I'm through. Is this a bit?
Red Dawn. That's not foreign.
That's not foreign. All right, fine. If it's Dawn,
White
it's
Christmas.
different. It's an object.
Foreign?
Dawn is not a. Dawn is more. Yeah. All right,
Blue
fine.
Hawaii.
All right, just stop. Just let me quit fact checking me. Go on. Tell me this. What's the setup?
So listen to this. This is the plot of the film. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's this couple, not a couple, two people. They meet. They get high. They fuck. And then they read the next morning, they wake up and they read a news story that says there's this crazy pink cloud, this crazy mysterious thing that's killing everybody. And you have to stay in your house. And they say, oh, wow, what's this about? And then there comes out like an announcement going, everybody go inside, close your window, don't come out because there's a deadly infectious thing out here. And so they get locked in. And they have to. This is a
pandemic after the pandemic, right? Like
they have to do everything on Zoom, and then they're stuck inside, and they can't leave the house. And this is what life becomes. That's the plot.
Yeah.
The movie was written in 2017 and shot in 2019.
Oh wow! So it was prescient. It was prophetic. It called the future.
Well, prophetic makes sense. What was the first word?
Prescient. I've said that, and I realized you might not know it, so I said the other word, which is the same.
Do I not know it, or are you using it incorrectly? Because
I'm using it correctly.
Precinct.
What?
Precinct?
Yeah, I meant assault on Precinct 13. That's what I meant.
But isn't that fascinating? It gave me the chills because I was going to see the movie being like, oh, they made a sci-fi movie about the pandemic. And then it scrolls. It's not about the pandemic. It was before.
That is crazy. Is it good?
Very good. You got to see it. It's historical.
It's historical. I'm excited to see it.
It's very good. And
blue cloud, pink cloud. I'm excited to see it.
And it gets very like sexual. I know you love to jerk off to things. You're going to jerk off to this because it explores, I think, more things. And I'm writing a film now that explores sexuality a little bit. There needs to be more things that explore sexuality in an adult way because we're so obsessed with it. There's so much of it.
I know. We ignore the fact that that's so consuming.
And so this becomes very interesting, and it's a fascinating movie, and I think you'll love it. It's quite moving and provocative and sexy and well done film. It's the kind of movie we like. It's like two people stuck, low budget dialogue.
So they're together, but they're zooming.
They just met,
but they're zooming with like Skyping, not zooming, I guess, because zooming kind of got popular. But they're whatever the fuck.
Yeah, video
people.
Video shit. And then he has a dad who he can't see, who can't take his medicine, and it gets sad. I mean, this movie's gonna touch your heart.
Well, I'm excited because at first you were telling me, and I thought it was a pandemic movie, and I'm like, that's a little pretentious that they made this allegory, this metaphor.
Yeah.
We all, you know what I mean? Just make it about the pandemic. But the fact that it was before is like, wow, that's quite incredible. All right, I'm checking it out.
All right, let's talk about broadcast news. I think we did a good about. By the way, at some point, I'm gonna have to order a pizza because I'm in a weird time. My show is at 7. It's 5:20. If I wait till 6, it might not come.
I fucking piss during one of our episodes. Order a fucking pizza.
You piss all the time during our episodes. I'm saying I piss during. Like, do whatever you want. I'm being facetious.
I'm being non-facetious. I've fucking jacked off during it a couple times. You just, if you want to order a pizza, order a pizza.
You're being prescient.
So broadcast news, my favorite movie growing up. And here's why. Are we good? We're good with the riff?
Yes, go. Talk for 20 minutes. I'm going to order a pizza.
I've been wanting to jump into this the whole time. Broadcast news, it's the ultimate friend zone movie.
Yes.
And I am friend zoned.
And you're a Jew. You're a funny Jew in the friend zone.
It is the story of my life. Jewish.
Except he's one of the best at his job. I think that's where it kind of branches in a different direction.
Out, and he's more in shape. But I feel like if I worked out, I could get to him. That's the best I can do.
I love that your goal is Albert Brooks.
That's the best I can do. That's literally because he's like stocky but thin. I
don't think he's as stocky as you, is he? I think he's like 5'10", I feel like.
Nah, he's stocky. He's definitely stocky, but he's thin. He's thin stocky, right?
Right.
So maybe. That's my goal is Albert Brooks. I'm fatter. But anyway, I mean, it's a Jew who's like, by the way, I think when I was in high school, it was like my favorite. I related to him so much. Now I'm older. I'm like, this guy's really an asshole and arrogant. And I realized I think I was just that in high school. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're kind of, seeing yourself in a more clear light. But he's a Jew attracted to his best friend who's more attracted to some hot douchebag. That's my life.
Are you sure you want to put that out? Because your best friend might be listening to this. I mean, people could just reach out to one of your several female best friends. That's weird.
It's not anymore, but in high school, that was my life. I was in love with my best friend, and then she was attracted to someone else, and then just like Albert Brooks, I would be like, this shows how we've lost standards in society. I just make it about that. It's just like it was written for me, this movie.
So is Steve Rogers William Hurt? Because I don't see it physically.
That concept. I will say this. I mean, do you feel this way? Like, they make William Hurt this really hot guy in it, but it's like, he's got like a pretty big receding hairline. It's like hard to like, it's a little like hard. I don't know if he's exactly the supermodel that you're supposed to think, or am I wrong? And that's just
I think the comparison, the difference between him and the stocky Jew is what makes him so hot. Like you and I together, I'm a sex symbol. You see? No, but William Hurt is hot. He's like classically 80. He's tall. He's got pecs. He's got a square jawline like me. He's got swoopy hair. I think, and he talks like this. I mean, he's sexy,
but it is receding, the hair.
Not as much as Nicholson's. That's a great line in the movie, by the way. He's like, I made one comment about the receding hairline.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many great lines. I mean, I texted you earlier. I was like, because it's always when you watch a movie again that you loved as a kid, you're like, I hope this holds up. And you're always worried it's not. I will say this. It's definitely a little more annoying than I remember it, but I still fucking love it. I still love this movie. It has that Aaron Sorkin where everyone's very hyper articulate, you know? Mm-hmm. And that kind of like you say, it has that Aaron Sorkin, like I thought of when you think of the perfect line later in the Aaron Sorkin, what if you said the perfect line right then? It has that. But unlike Aaron Sorkin, it's so empathetic to all the characters and you kind of see each of them in their own way. If this was a Sorkin movie, William Hurt would be a complete just dumb villain when really you see a lot of he's insecure, he's like aware of his dumbness, which makes him smart on some level, you know what I mean? There's that really moving part where he calls his dad, which I love, where he's like, Dad, I think I really figured out how to do this. Like you wouldn't see that in Aaron Sorkin. So and Albert Brooks is clearly probably the James L. Brooks character, but he's such like an asshole, and he's so arrogant and annoying. So like the movie allows all the characters to kind of be alive and different from each other and, be morally complicated.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. Here's another thing I thought of. Two things I thought of. Yes. One, going back to Lost in America, which is what I really want to talk about. Oh, another great moment when he's quitting and he goes, and our hairpiece secret is off. That's one of the best lines ever. But the thing that I also struck me as I was watching this is another movie along with Annie Hall that when Harry Met Sally really just was like, we'll just take that. We're going to make that ours. But Harry Met Sally, it really took quite a bit from this.
What did it take from it exactly? Like just the
best friend Jew, they meet up. Yeah. I got to go be with this person. They're leaving a date to go see their best friend because they owe it to him and the Jew's character.
Also, interestingly, they asked Albert Brooks to be in When Harry Met Sally originally. And
that's right.
And he said, no, this is too much like Woody Allen. So
right.
They then went with Billy Crystal.
Yeah, I remember that fact from the last 3 times you said it on the podcast. But don't you think Albert Brooks is, and I just got such a crush on this man. He really steals the show in this movie. Although Holly Hunter also blew me away. I didn't remember how both good she is and how attractive she is. It also made me feel like she could have played Clarice really well.
Oh yeah, exactly. She totally could have. She's got that great Southern accent. She is every girl I've fallen in love with. Because for me, cute is gorgeous. And she is so fucking cute in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so is Julie Haggerty in Lost in America.
She looks like a hag. It's in the name. I don't even know what you're saying. She's like, you're attracted to like my Jewish mother. It's just like crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, Haggerty, that old Jewish tribe, Haggerty's.
She's just like, I don't know. But anyway, great actress. But they actually dated for a long time. Her and
Albert Brooks and Julie Haggerty.
Yeah. But she is so cute, and her character is great. All 3 of them are amazing. William Hurt's amazing. I mean, he's such an interesting actor to play it because he's never really played dumb. And he's such an intelligent actor that it's like an intelligent guy being dumb, which is just interesting to watch because he's very aware of being dumb and he's insecure about it. And he's kind of articulate in his own way. So it's just like
You're describing me.
It's interesting. Like I think all 3 characters are amazing. And I mean, let's just start from the beginning. the backstories for all the characters in the opening, like totally define who they are. And like, I forgot how crucial
it's great. And it's really funny. It reminded me of the movie Ted a little bit.
Oh, right.
I think they kind of did that bit. Very similar bit, don't you think?
Yeah, everything's stole from broadcast news. But like it is like they're all like him. I mean, the opening shot's him getting a tutor, which is essentially what he's doing the whole movie, just trying to use people as his tutors to like teach him, mainly
right.
Holly Hunter. And then you have her being obsessive, like looking up the word, which is essentially her being obsessive over Tom. And then you have Albert Brooks just shouting into the void like a big moral rant and no one gives a shit, which is essentially what he does at the end with Holly Hunter when he says Tom's the devil. That scene, by the way, is hilarious when he's like, "You'll never make more than $19,000 a year," and they walk away like 19,000, not bad.
Yeah, well, I think it's a big influence on Gary Gulman. If you've ever seen Gary Gulman handle a heckler, he'll really take him apart in a similar way. But this movie also feels very allegorical towards show business. I mean, doesn't it? I mean, the guy who's getting stuff but is not as talented, knows he's not as talented, but he knows how to play the game, that thing. And then there's the less attractive guy going, how is he getting this? Why does he get this? Can't you see? And then, of course, the reveal of like, he's a hack. If you look closely, he's a hack. I mean, I think we could certainly relate to that. And then the woman being like, no, I like him because we're on the same level artistically, but I'm going to go with this guy because he's taller.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very show business.
It's all. To me,
it is show business.
It's probably more to do with show business than actual broadcast news. I don't think anyone's like expecting the news anchor to not be shallow in broadcast news. It's just a fucking guy repeating the story. So in a way, it feels more appropriate. I mean, and Albert Brooks obviously feels less like a news reporter than a comedian. So
right.
Like it feels so. I mean, no, Albert Brooks. I mean, that is like. He is the more talented, like because people message me, they're like, well, why aren't you bigger? You should be more famous. It's like, it's called being a 5. That's what it is. If I was hotter, I'd be doing better. Or at least that's what I say to myself,
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Like, who are the hot comedians that are just killing it?
Matthew Broussard.
Is he doing better than you?
Oh, yeah. He's doing way better.
Really?
He has like 400,000 Instagram followers. I mean, he's also very funny. Everyone's hot.
He's certainly very funny. I'm not trying to take away from his comedic ability, but you just did the Tonight Show. You're going on tour with Louis. I mean, you wrote a film. You're headlining some major clubs and some mediocre ones. You got a ton of cellar spots.
Yeah, maybe
everybody respects you. They're all promoting you. I don't think Matt Broussard's doing like way better than you. And again, I'm not taking from Matt. I think he's successful. I think he's hilarious.
You're supposed to say I'm actually attractive. Like you didn't like you ignored.
Well, I don't think that, but I'm just like, but it's all about playing the game. It's the social media and the business. It's also just patience in our business.
I'm like, I'm ugly and it's keeping me from doing well. And you're like, I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, in spite of being ugly.
But anyway, I think like yes, but it is like hot people do better in society, and there's a lot of hot comics doing well. You don't think hotness helps you in comedy?
I think maybe if you're a woman, I don't know about men. I mean, who are the big? I mean, is Jim Gaffigan hot? Is Brian Regan hot? Is Louis C.K. hot?
Yeah, but they didn't get big till they didn't get big till they're like 64 years old. I'm talking about like the new guys are all hot. Jabuki.
I guess. I mean, yeah. There's some other stuff going on.
Sloan. The entire Daily Show. But she's great. Just joking. She's gonna kill me. But it's it'd be crazy if she listened to this. But anyway,
I don't think she'll listen.
But yes, it's a lot to do with showbiz and the shallows. And what I love about the movie too is like everyone is so like dogmatic in life. They have their values. I love movies where people's feelings contradict their values. The same way Matthew Broderick's lust for Reese Witherspoon in Election kind of contradicts his ability to pretend he's happy.
That's another movie you like more than Nashville.
And, can we focus on broadcast news? The fact that Holly Hunter, her values are William Hurt is everything she's against, but she still is falling for him because he is seductive. I love that conflict. That's the conflict to me that drama is about. Not this shit where you just espouse a bunch of views. It's when your views contradict with how you feel deep down and you don't know how to deal with that. That's to me like the ultimate power of art, I think.
See, I love that about the movie because it feels real, but I also get so infuriated because I feel like I have the wisdom to be like, are you kidding me? Fuck this guy. He stinks. What are you doing talking to this guy? Why are you with him? You got Albert Brooks over here. And obviously I see myself as Albert Brooks as well. So you're like,
Right.
Go with him. It's so frustrating.
But at the same time, watching it again, like I used to feel that way, but Albert Brooks is very vindictive in this. Like to the point where I'm like, oh, he's also very much an asshole.
Well, he's an asshole, but if he got his way, he got his girl, he would be less asshole.
But that's what makes you an asshole. I mean, being a good person means being good when shit doesn't go your way. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, I'd be happy if he's fine as long as everything goes his way. You know, he's an asshole. He's very vindictive. He's so mean. Watching this again, it's interesting because I was Albert Brooks in high school. I'm like, these girls, they're so superficial, the way they're not attracted to me, even though I only care about looks too. Like it's like that feeling, but watching this, you're like, oh, watching it now, I'm like, oh, he's so mean to William Hurt the whole time, like really mean. And like, and so, you know, and this is what I love about the movie. They're all assholes. This is not a Aaron Sorkin, one guy is clearly the best. It's about a bunch of assholes you feel bad for. You know,
well, that's the thing is, and that's again where it's like allegorical for show business is that everybody is compromising their morals because they're just trying to get ahead, and they're all, you know, staying involved in this because they don't want to be by themselves. Essentially, they're all just being like, oh my god, I have to do this thing, and they think I mean, it's so similar to what we deal with in show business, where it's like, why don't you relax a little, maybe take a weekend off and try to hang out with some people, be friends, have a relationship, a normal relationship. Instead, you're like, no, I got to get this news story in.
I know.
And so it is extremely real, and it's so close to our lives.
Well, I think the closest part is Albert Brooks watching William Hurt on TV in that one moment. To me, that's just like every time you watch someone, you know, you're just like, fucking, why am I not the one on TV right now? You know, that's like the classic moment.
Right. And then the classic moment of like getting your shot. And then you're just like, oh shit, I'm just not as good as him.
I'm just not as good. I just don't. I'm a great writer. I'm funny, but but some people are born to be on the camera, and they're both good at different things. That's what I love. I mean, I think it feels like I don't know, maybe I'm guessing, but it feels like James L. Brooks was Albert Brooks and had been through this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like to the point where there was a very specific girl he's referring to. But what's great about the movie is it's not just purely a soapbox for him. Like, the movie is aware that, like, when Albert Brooks calls him the devil at the end, yes, he's making a big moral rant, but he's also really just mainly mad that she is attracted to him over him. So it's like, there's like such an awareness in this movie. There's no right or wrong, you know, it's just people with their different values, which is what I always love, you know?
And one of the things that's so great about it, by the way, I'm bummed that the sun has gone down. So it's revealing, you can see the light that I have the football game on. It's really
You've been watching the whole time.
It's slowly being revealed. No, I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
but every once in a while I peek over. I got an order of pizza. It's the playoffs. What do you want me to do? You don't understand sports. Non-sports people have no idea. They're like, let's just book our wedding and our podcast right in the middle of the NFL playoffs.
Real quickly, though, if I schedule my special taping, do you think it matters if it's on the NCAA championship? Do people care about that in New York?
The night of the actual championship?
Yeah, I should probably not have it then, right?
I mean, there's a lot of nights of the year.
There are.
You could do one without a major. I mean, in New York, there's plenty of people that don't give a shit about the NCAA championship, but even if there's 4 people that are like, oh shit, like I don't want to go.
4 people will be half the crowd when I
mean, I want to watch the championship game.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So I'm not going.
I got your by the pause you took when I asked you, like, are you? I got the answer right away.
I'm Albert Brooks. You're William Hurt.
How am I William Hurt?
Because you're like, should I do this? I don't really know much about anything. I'm an idiot. I have my big night. And I'm like, what are you kidding?
Well, I'm definitely William Hurt when it comes to sports. You're like, can you name?
I'm just kidding. I'm just glancing. Wait, I was going to say something about the movie, though. One of the great things this movie pulls off, though, that's like hard to watch sometimes, is frustrating, is when he's at home after he bombs on his chance, which is so well done. And it's really funny also. Hilarious. And his reaction to it is great. But when he bombs and he's sitting there and she comes to visit him, and obviously we know where she just came from and what she's up to, but he doesn't. Is so painful and so beautiful. Painful. And it's what you wish you could see. It's why men like read women's diaries and shit.
Yeah.
It's because like she just came from like this sexual thing. Her pussy is soaking wet with this guy. And she's like, okay, I've decided I'm going to fuck this guy. And he's like goofing around and he's like, hey, you're here. Let's order food. Let's have a night. And we know that she's like, I got to go. My pussy's wet and you've never made my pussy wet. Well, and it's hard to watch.
It's clearly it's clearly the best scene of the movie by far. Just an amazing.
But she looks amazing.
She looks amazing. And it gets to the root of this issue where it's like, yes, they have this great rapport. Yes, they do. And he's like, we have a great rapport. We should fuck and be together. And she's like, no, we have a great rapport. Let's be friends.
Yes, the entire plot of When Harry Met Sally, by the way.
Yeah, except it's the bullshit ending where they get together, which never happens. And but they're
I
like,
know. I did.
What? That was your friend? No, you dated her first.
Who, Sarah?
Yeah.
No, we were friends for a long time.
You were?
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay, but anyway, I it's just like, and the thing is, she's hotter than him, you know?
Way hotter.
So that's the thing that makes it so hypocritical, because he's like, we have a rapport, so it's shallow that you go in with this guy when we have such a great rapport. But she's like, but I'm hotter than you. Like, we have a great rapport, so I want us to be friends. Like,
right. Just, I don't need you for that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, this is the thing about the movie. It is like there's a lighthearted tone to the movie, but it's so bitter and also so much about looks, which, you know, I love movies about looks because there's very few of them that actually deal with looks, you know what I mean, in an honest way. It's like this and Happiness. That's pretty much it. Or Welcome to the Dollhouse. But like, so that whole experience of being friend zoned like that is such an amazing experience. And then when she tells him and he yells at her to go out, and then he's like, come back in. And then he gives the whole speech about her being him being the devil, which is amazing because that's captures the painful, also like when you get rejected and you're like, you make it into this big moral thing when really you're just rejected. You're like, she doesn't want to fuck me. And this just shows you how superficial society is.
Right.
Like, it's such a hilariously hypocritical moment where you put all these values on what is at the core just you being rejected.
No, I can remember that, like dating a girl in high school that I was in love with, and then we broke up, and I was friends with her brother. So I went to like his graduation in military, and it was all these like military guys, and she's like talking to him, and I remember being like, that guy's a douche, he's a fucking idiot. What are you doing with these idiots? You don't even know what you're doing. And she's like, why are you even talking to me? I don't even get why you're involved in this, but you try to take them down because you're like, they're idiots, but really they're like better than you.
Well, exactly. And then I mean, I got into this so much. I think when a girl's not into me, she's being immoral. like that's what's really going on deep down, which is crazy.
Yeah, of course. Like on the Patreon, you're like, it's cool to masturbate in high school during class. That's acceptable. But if a woman doesn't like me, that's unacceptable.
You really ruined the Patreon. But my dick was not out. It was secret, hole in the pocket, which makes it fine. But
get on that Patreon. It's so good.
Freshman year. I
got to order pizza. You talk for a little bit.
This is crazy. So, okay, you're ordering.
You told me to order pizza. You take shits during this, remember?
You do. Are you like, I'm talking to you, but are you listening to me, or am
I'm listening. Like, I'm listening. You're saying you masturbate at school.
It's not a sex crime if it's under 15. But so, yeah, that feeling of, and I've dealt with this my whole life, where I'm like, if a girl's not attracted to me, I'm like, she's so shallow, and yet I'm so shallow.
Yes. Not only am I listening to you, I remember you saying that earlier.
Well, I just want to reinforce, it is hilarious that I'm okay being shallow, but I don't want, like, but when a woman who I'm into is shallow or not into me, I'm like, that's disgusting how shallow she is. You know what I mean? It's just a hilarious hypocrisy. But I mean, that scene is amazing, and there's so much feeling and just heartbreak, and you feel for both of them in that situation. I don't know. I really, even though this movie, watching again, I'm like, yeah, there's some annoying shit here and there. It's a little sticky at times. I'm like, this movie is beautiful, and it really is full of so much complicated emotion and just so dark for its, it has that 90s, the 80s music, that it's the 80s and 90s kind of score.
I think Bill Conti did the music, didn't he?
Is that who it is?
Who did Rocky?
Well, it feels like the dude, it's like that like light chipper score, but it's so like it's that light. You know what it is? It's a rom-com score.
Yes.
But it's such a bitter, dark movie. And I mean, especially the ending. I forgot how great that moment in the ending is. Did you order the pizza?
I haven't. I'm getting close, but I'm listening and I have questions. So, what are the things that annoy? What are the things that annoy you? And two, do you remember the surprise the first time you saw it? Because you saw it years ago. What was the feeling when they revealed this surprise? Because you think they have a kid together.
Oh, you mean at the end?
Yes, the surprise at the end. No, at the very beginning when they shock you.
I don't remember thinking they had the kid together, I guess.
Really? That's what it's meant to be, is it not?
Is it? I don't know.
He's like, we'll end up together. We'll end up having this and that. Like he says, we won't end up together, but every once in a while we'll profess our love for each other. And it literally says 7 years later, and he's holding a child. You don't think like, oh, they ended up together.
Maybe
that's not what that's supposed to be.
I don't know, because here's the thing. I watch as a kid, so I didn't think that as a kid. So I'm not going to like keep on, you go by your first perception. So I don't know. I guess it's hard for me.
But I'm asking intention from the filmmaker.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know if that was the intention now, because I never thought of it like that when I was younger. So
let me present it to you this way.
Okay.
You're watching. He's right. Surely it crossed his mind that people might perceive it that way, right?
Well, the kid looked so much like Albert Brooks that I assume his wife had to look like Albert Brooks too. Like it's just
what?
It's literally like a little Albert Brooks,
Yeah.
There's no hot Gentile in that kid. That's pure full Jew. I guess that's my thing. That's 100% Jew right there. There's no Holly Hunter.
So.
That is Jew-fro, pale. That is 100% Jew.
But it had to have crossed his mind that like when I have them talk and say, here's what our relationship's going to be. We won't get together. They're intimately talking. He's like, we're not going to get together, blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts to him holding a child and says 7 years later does not. Don't you think he was like, oh, they'll think for a moment.
Because it's the opposite, even though he said that, like the twist is that they got together.
You're like, oh, they did get together. Yeah, that happens in movies all the time in storytelling.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. That's not how I perceived it, but I'm not, I'm validating your feelings. I'm not negating it,
Okay, fine.
What kind of pizza are you getting?
Cheese with some cheesy bread. The problem is the show's at 7. I thought it was 8:30 when I committed to 5 p.m. And so I gotta eat food because there's no food at the club. Last night I was there. I didn't even eat. I was like, hey, you guys have food? They're like, oh yeah, we got food. And it's chips and queso with salsa. The queso is like milk. It's just like watery.
Suck. Yeah.
It's just awful.
You can have free food here this weekend. The 12 nachos that we order that with cum on them, or the fucking yeah. Also, do you find this? I don't know. Like,
shit, I need to get a card. I'm not signed into Domino. I used to get it all the time, but then I have the reflux, so I had to stop. I'm sorry.
But let's make this part of it. I don't want to talk to you while you're ordering pizza. Let's make this.
Well, I'm listening. I was listening. You stopped and said, what kind of pizza are you getting?
I know, even if you're listening, I still know you're focusing on something else. You know what I mean?
Want me to turn my camera off?
I just think like, let's focus on the pizza. Oh,
on the pizza.
Yeah, like.
I see. Well, I'm putting my card in. Okay. Put your
card in. Yeah. What are the
expiration date? 03/2017.
2017. Seems like it's expired.
I couldn't improvise. Okay, here's my security code. Billing address.
What's your security code?
Hide keyboard. Okay, apply. Here we go. I haven't ordered a pizza in a long time.
What's your security code? You got to give the audience something.
It's Bosco.
It's not like the security code. You can't hack into it based on that.
There's an option here for 30% tip. Who's tipping 30% to a Domino's driver? 30?
Yeah. I would do it.
Shut up.
I don't want to virtue signal, but I would do it. Yeah.
What do you mean? You're tipping 30%?
If you give me the option,
a broke Jew is tipping a 30%.
If you give me the option, I'll guilt my way into doing it. I would never do it without the option. That's insane. But
the options are 15, 18, 20, 25, 30.
That's so many options.
And by the way, this is pre-tipping. This is not after they showed up and were really nice. This is like just ahead of time. I'll just give them 30%.
Well, I believe in free tipping, because if you free tip and you give a good tip, they'll work harder. They won't spit in it as much or whatever.
I like spit though.
They'll get it in quicker.
Do you want a woman to spit in your mouth at all?
No, I don't like spit. I do not like spit.
You like a dildo in the ass and not spit? Come on.
I would take 4 dildos in my ass over spit in my mouth.
See, I'd take 4 spits in my mouth because I'm, heterosexual.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I know. Spit it's a gross. I'd rather someone come in my mouth.
I got to say this. The way you're looking right now, don't move. It looks like your left arm is covered in tattoos. Like you have a sleeve tattoo on the left arm.
Oh, like
you see what I'm seeing?
Like I'm the
it
guy
looks like
Terminator
you have a cut-off T-shirt,
like the guy in Terminator 2 at the beginning that Arnold Schwarzenegger throws around. Like
it looks like,
bar.
Yeah, it looks like you have a cut-off shirt. It's amazing. It perfectly lines up. It looks like you have a sleeve tattoo, and it makes me like respect you more.
Well, I look tough, right?
Yeah, you do.
I've always said this about tattoos. I could never get a tattoo because I'm so wrong about this, obviously, because I feel, but for my perception was always tattoos mean you're ready to throw down. Like if you get a tattoo, you're ready to throw down. And obviously every effeminate non-binary person in Brooklyn has a tattoo of a giraffe on their arm or whatever. But that's literally what Sam Evans has. But anyway, but like for me,
you're really nailing some comics on this episode. You're like fucking Rickles or Ross, whatever.
But for me, a tattoo means you're going to throw down. And I don't want to cast that image because I don't throw down. I've never thrown down.
No, well, it's kind of like George Carlin had that bit years ago, like a long time ago. It was like you got a tattoo because you're one of the cool people with a tattoo. Now you get a tattoo, so you're not one of the losers without a tattoo.
Oh, that's a great point. Good.
Yeah.
Good comic. What's his
name?
Was
very good.
George Carlin?
Yeah. Bill Cartwright.
He actually really doesn't make me laugh that much, but I don't get into that. But he's still great, obviously. But But anyway, I like Bill Hicks more. Is that crazy?
A lot of people will say that about Bill Hicks. They're like, he doesn't make me laugh.
I know. I think Bill Hicks is hilarious. I don't get that.
I do too. I think they're both pretty funny. I'm coming out
on
on a limb. I'm saying George Carlin and Bill Hicks were very good.
I think Bill Hicks was people like I guess for a while said he was overrated for a while. And now I think he's like underrated.
Bill Hicks?
Yeah, because people are like, you don't even have jokes. It's like he has great jokes. They're perfectly crafted.
Of course he has jokes.
Insane. All right. Let's go back to network. But yeah, so broadcast news. I don't know. I didn't know about the kid. The kid always seemed full Jew to me, but I will say I forgot that amazing moment at the end where they're sitting under the whatever it's called, the pavilion,
gazebo,
giraffe, zebra. They're sitting under it, and it's like a very nice little like reminiscing moment. But that moment where his kid just rushes up to William Hurt, like even his own kid is like gravitating towards William Hurt, is such a hilariously dark little moment at the very end of this kind of nice little sad nostalgic reminiscing that it's just like, oh man, this movie is bitter but aesthetically doesn't feel bitter. It feels like a lighthearted comedy, and yet it's so fucking bitter.
But don't you feel like you must feel good and kind of vindicated in a way that he ends up having the most meaningful life, right?
Albert Brooks?
Yes. I mean, he's got his kid. He's married with a child, and he still has his friend, and he's doing well.
I don't know. I guess it made me sad, the ending, because it's like...
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I got sad. Because... it makes me think of the girls I was in love with. And, you get older.
Again with this, bro.
You get older, and then you're just like friends reminiscing under a fucking, pavilion, under a Palladium or whatever it is. You're just like... Pilates. You're just like reminiscing.
Precinct.
And it's like, you know what's sad? It's because like, maybe it's because I'm older now. Anything nostalgic makes me sad. But there's so much passion in their youth. They're all angry and obsessed and in love. It was like the passion of youth. And now they're just kind of like in their relationships, and they're all in different relationships, and they're just reminiscing. There's something sad. I mean, it's nice, but isn't it sad? They're just like kind of like, there's something sad about contentness. It just makes you realize you're a little older,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're describing my life. You're bumming me out here. I mean,
your life bums me out. I mean,
I'm still on the road. I just ordered a pizza, baby. That's wild. You got reflux. You order pizza before 2 shows. That's naughty business.
Good point.
I mean, I watched some. You want to hear it old? I'm not a big porn guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was because of this Pink Cloud movie. I ended up watching a porn today.
Oh, really?
I watched a 14-minute porn beginning to end without getting an erection. That's old.
that's psychopathic that you'd watch it without. I mean, the fact that you were getting erection is like creepy.
I mean, I fast forwarded a few times because I just wanted to see this situation.
Why did the movie make you watch porn?
Well, because it's very sexual, and then it was like this hot scene. And then I was like, that was hot. I was like, I wonder if there's anything else like that, or if I could find something like that. And I was looking at this. It's a whole long story that I'm not, completely want to divulge here on the podcast. But
I'm fucking divulging, sex crimes from '84
on the Patreon. You got to see it. It's historic. Let's talk about Lost in America next week or soon. It's very good. But Albert Brooks is the best part of this movie. Don't you think if Billy Crystal was in his part, this movie would drop by 40%?
Oh, of course. I mean, Billy Crystal is Billy Crystal is like 5 different poor man's of.
He is the antithesis of Albert Brooks.
He is a poor man's Robin Williams, Albert Brooks, Woody Allen. He is like 12 people's poor man's. He's good, but he's like just a perfect, like not as funny as these other guys.
Yeah,
but more mainstream.
Brooks is just every second. You know what it is too? It's his voice, his delivery.
It's like Southern. It's like a Southern twang. That's amazing. I don't know.
Well,
it's like,
and it's soft and smooth.
Yeah.
He sounds comforting and welcoming. You just want him to be your like dad.
He is so. I mean, the joke. I mean, like, oh, I lost your shoulder pad. I think it drowned. I mean, like,
that's a great line.
He has so many amazing fucking lines in this movie. Yeah, I mean, he is the heart and soul of the movie, and I'm not just saying that because that's what Pauline Kael said, who also, by the way, did not like this movie. So fucking give me credit for that.
Can you name a movie that Pauline Kael enjoyed? Obviously Nashville, because you liked it. So obviously that's her favorite movie, of course.
No, her favorite movie is Last Tango in Paris.
What's the percentage of her movies that she enjoyed? Because she like trashed fucking Jaws and Rocky and
she
Psycho.
Loved Jaws.
Okay, she didn't like Raging Bull. Is that the one she didn't like?
She didn't like Raging Bull, but she loved Mean Streets and Taxi Driver.
It's amazing to watch Raging Bull and be like, nah.
She did not like Goodfellas, which is a little crazy.
A little crazy. Just admit it. What are you married to this woman? Just be like, that's absurd. That's ridiculous. That's just
when
incorrect.
You read the article, you're like, she makes some good points.
No, she doesn't. Shut up.
But so you didn't connect to this movie? I don't know. I just connected so much.
I do. I liked it. What are you talking about? I like the movie. I'm talking about that. I like it. I'm saying for podcast purposes, I watched it on a plane, not knowing we were going to talk about it. That's so true, I don't have this as an in-depth thing. I watch a movie right before and I take a lot of notes. I'm just saying I watched it on the plane. I've seen the movie before. I enjoy the movie. I'm saying a lot of things that I like about the movie. I think it's very good.
You know what part is like a little dated? There's like a very dated thing in the movie. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No, the outfits. I don't know.
Well, the outfits are, I mean, I did make a note. Holly Hunter's outfits in this, her first 3 outfits. The first one is like a exercise suit with like a collage on the shirt. The second one is like a Victorian dress in a horror movie. And then at one point she's wearing a red scarf, like an old Russian lady. She looks like she's in Schindler's List. Like she's like, do you remember that part? She has like a scarf around her head, like she's a babushka or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She looks like she's holding like challahs and just like walking in a shtetl.
I don't know the part you're talking about, but I want to talk about. We haven't mentioned like the best scene in the movie.
What's the best scene?
Well, say what you're going to say. Say the outdated part first.
Well, they're trying to have a part where they show that William Hurt is kind of dumbing down the news by being like cloying or sentimental, you know? But the part that they do that, he goes, I'm going to have a story. You're going to laugh at it, but I think it'll be good. And the idea is he's saying something that's not newsworthy. And he goes, I want to do a story on date rape. Right. Holly Hunter immediately is like, like she's
yes.
Like,
well, and then Albert Brooks too is like, great. You told us what he shits on it. He calls it.
Yeah, he's like,
can we go back to the news now, please?
Can we go back to the news? I'm like, boy, did that not hold up?
Yes,
this is such a weird thing. They're like bringing up date rape is like they act like that's bubblegum reporting or something.
Yeah, well, it does show you how insane we looked at rape and date rape.
Yeah.
30 years ago. I mean, literally, he's like, okay, we got it. Great. And by the way, it took another like 28 years to really talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's interesting. I mean, I'm not offended. I'm not a cuck. I've talked about this. I just find it fascinating when you see things that don't hold up. I don't get angry. Like it's stupid to get angry about it. I'm just like, that's really interesting. Like,
of course.
you know.
No, and the worst kind of people, because I deal with this all the time because I'm always talking about this. The worst kind of people are the people that interpret you pointing it out as being like, oh, get out of here. You don't. And I'm like, do you think I'm like some woke guy?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me talk about any subject?
I mean,
it's like I'm just pointing out that you can't do that anymore.
I mean, to me, it's fascinating. I appreciate how it's just interesting. It's curious. But then people get mad. But then other people get mad when they see something outdated, which is weird because you're basically getting mad at time moving forward, essentially. But like for me, I'm just interested in the things that like show you how much we've changed every moment. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I mean, this is like a woke movie for its time. It's a female lead who's great, and she's great at her job, and she's not a villain, which is pretty impressive for an 80s movie. For a woman to be like career obsessed and her not to be like some stuck up like bitch, like that is like hugely woke. You know what I mean? Like in Top Gun, her being into her career is like her character flaw. Like that she's like cares about her career basically. And
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you get the sense that she's like, it's like making her cold.
I guess.
But anyway.
I never felt that way. By the way, I talked about this on the Patreon. If you sign up for the Patreon, my lighting now is like the Laughs lighting. Like you're on stage headlining, it's just flashing colors. So I apologize.
By the way.
Remember I alluded to that?
Yeah, I really alluded. By the way, the shows are very fun. Not a lot of people are coming.
Not a lot of people?
It's my first weekend after Fallon.
Well, what do you think? People are going to watch Fallon and come? What is this, 1988? And it's also Omicron. It's a woke city, and it's Omicron. I mean, I sold it out, but
he gave me a thumbs up, or maybe it was a white power thing. I don't know. He gave me something that
he probably gave you COVID. The best sequence in the movie is the getting it in on time. The bullets they got to run out of time with Joan Cusack.
The part I love is that guy who would have definitely been played by Philip Seymour Hoffman 5 years later.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I said the same thing. I'm like, that's Hoffman.
He is just so Hoffman.
Yes.
I feel bad for that guy because I'm like, that guy would have been Hoffman. He's just a little early. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we weren't ready for Hoffman yet, but it was like that was the Hoffman of that generation. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know that he's fucking the best actor of his generation. That
could have been. Who knows? Yeah, but anyway,
I mean, he didn't die. What are you talking about? He could have been. He had a full career.
Nah, but he didn't pop off like
because he's not as good as Hoffman.
Well, or maybe people weren't ready to see a fat, fucking gross guy in the lead.
You're fucking out of your mind. So you're saying Philip Seymour Hoffman's success, your lack of success is because you're round faced and whatever chunky, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's success is because America became ready for him. No, he's just unbelievable.
I can't tell you how much I don't like chunky. What am I, soup? I'd rather you call me a fat monster.
Portly.
Don't call me chunky.
You got some chunk. You got the cool tattoos though.
Chunky. Oh boy.
By the way, I'm in a hotel where everything my neighbor does I can hear, so they're just listening to my podcast. They're just listening to me scream.
Well, I probably enjoyed.
I doubt it. Like 4,000 people listen to this podcast. What are the chances that one of them is at the Beeman Hotel in Dallas?
They just shout one of our. What could they shout to show that they're a fan? What's our catchphrases? Let's go, Brandon. What do we say out here?
Cut. I hated that movie. That movie sucks. We're smarter than everyone.
You're not that fat Raanan. I feel like that's basically, Yeah, no, that seems amazing. I mean, when Philip Seymour Hoffman is like, she's not going to make it, it's like amazing.
No, it's great. Great sequence.
I mean, there's so many amazing. When fucking Joan Cusack tells Albert Brooks, when he like annoys her and she's like, to think I was attracted to you. And he's like, well, that changes everything.
That's funny. Yeah, she does not look great in this movie. Normally, I think she's hot, but.
Women in the 80s, I mean, it's amazing. Holly Hunter looks beautiful and like just so cute. But
that was supposed to be a punchline, by the way. Sorry.
Wait, what was the thing? What
I said Joan Cusack is hot is a joke.
Oh, I don't know. You're fucking talking about my mother's aunt being hot 12 minutes ago. I don't know what's so funny.
That's what makes it so funny.
You can't say Julie Haggerty is a fucking supermodel and then be like,
I said I'm attracted to her. That's why, don't you understand language? That's why I specifically said I'm very attracted to her. I didn't say she's hot.
Okay. You're saying it's just something about her. Okay. Well, I don't know. It seems like Joan Cusack would be up your alley. I'm surprised she's not.
No, I don't know.
It is funny that like I would rather fuck John. And I feel like most men would. But she's great. And wait, what was I fucking saying?
I don't know. It didn't matter.
Oh, the other women in the movie. It is that time is so dated. every woman, the puffed up hair. Is there a bigger turnoff than the puffed up hair?
Yeah, but now it's like now that becomes a turn on again. I was thinking like while I'm watching it, well, only because I've been with the same woman for 48 years. So I'm like, if my wife showed up with a big poofy perm, I'd be like, oh my God.
Like, I don't know. I don't even know if you remember you saw the movie like once or you were in someone else's screen on the airplane. But remember the woman William Hurt is with at the end?
Vaguely.
They're clearly trying to have it be a hot woman. And I can't tell you how unattractive, like, she's blonde and dumb looking with the puffed up hair, and she's wearing like an outfit that Prince would wear. It's just like so unattractive, you know? I don't know, something about puffed up hair. It's just like, I really do not like hair puffed up.
You hate the puff.
I hate the puff. Get it down. But
bad puff.
Even Holly Hunter, I mean, she looks great in it, but then she's got that weird. I usually love short hair, but her short hair is quite weird at the end. It's like 80s short hair, which is
at the end. But the problem is that too, they shoot the movie over the course of 3 weeks or whatever. So they have to make it look like 7 years has passed. So then James L. Brooks says, hey, fucking gay fella, do something with her hair to make it look like time has passed. And so he does a wiggles in a
and they give Albert Brooks a haircut.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's balding.
Exactly.
But I do like, I love the movie, and it's what I like in art. It's like Election. It's three people or two people, whatever, who have different values and different wants, and they're conflicted, and no one's right or wrong. They're just see the world differently, and their feelings contradict, because that's life. You have all these values, you have these opinions and these beliefs, and they all get shattered because your dick or your vagina just goes in a different way, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I'm feeling that right now. Like, I am conflicted. I want to listen to your babble about this movie no one's seen, but also it's 16:16 and I have a show in 1 hour.
You've been watching this whole time?
No, I just clicked over now, but now it's the fourth quarter. It's 16:16. We're up over an hour. I got a pizza coming, and I don't know what's going to come. Sometimes it takes a long time to come, like my wife.
This is like broadcast news. The integrity of our show has fallen apart. We're watching sports now and eating pizza.
Do you understand how many times we've done movies and you're like, I just didn't watch it. Didn't see it. I'm still mad about The Last Detail. You should have watched The Last Detail.
That was the old days. Now we're professional.
We should watch The Last Detail and what's the other one?
Movies I missed. I didn't watch.
No, Hal Ashby. Who's the retarded one?
Harold
the English comic. He's the comedian. He's in Dr. Strangelove. He plays a retard. You love it.
Being there.
We should do Being
Peter
There.
Sellers.
Being There and The Last Detail. I'm saying someday, don't do this thing where you go, okay, we're doing that next week. You chose. That's that thing you do.
That's a thing I do?
Yes.
The thing we do. We should do that. Harold, you would do Harold. You wouldn't want to do Harold and Maude? If you want to sing out, sing out.
That's Cat Stevens.
Well, I know that, but
Harold and Maude didn't sing that.
By the way, I once sent you, I got a little beef with you. I once sent you a picture, the cover of that Carly Simon album.
Yeah. And
I was like, she looks so hot here. And you acted like I confessed to like raping a kid. You're like, ugh, like that's so gross. And I was listening to that. I was looking at that cover again because I was listening to that song. And I'm like, she is so hot in that. That's like the hottest.
What did I say? Well, I don't think
you were
said
like,
that.
You said you gave me an ugh or something. I feel like you were like,
I think you said hottest album cover ever.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the Cherry Pie by Warrant with the roller skates sticking out.
I don't even know who that was.
I know, because you're all highfalutin. So if it's not like you like three musicians, I don't
know, whatever, misdemeanor police, whatever. But she's so hot, and one of her nipples is, hard in it, which is.
Well, I think also my might have been. I know why I just remembered.
Yeah.
Because you have this thing that you feel the need to tell everybody everyone in your Rolodex, what you're jerking off to that day. It's weird. And then I called you out on it, and then like 10 minutes later, you're like, look at this nipple. That was my issue.
But yeah, she's so hot. But anyway, great movie. It's still one of my favorites. I think it's top 10 for me. Well, maybe top 20.
Yeah, go 20.
20. It's top 20, but it's a great movie. And it's a childhood fave, and it's nice when a movie you loved as a kid still holds up. You know what I mean? It's nice to know I had great taste even in high school.
That's how I feel.
Even though in high school,
Field of Dreams, Cocktail. I mean, these are some of the greats.
To be fair, yeah. In high school, I loved Fight Club, Seven, American Beauty. I had shit taste, but my first two favorite movies are still great movies. When I was 5, the two movies I loved the most were Jaws and Wizard of Oz.
I don't believe that
Totally
5-year-old you
Totally
liked
true.
Jaws.
You're
afraid of the dark. Are you kidding?
I watch Jaws every day, but I think it like caused a lot. I mean, I have a lot of anxiety. My friend who used to babysit me said I would watch it while crying, but I
Your friends with your babysitter?
Well, he's like, it was a family friend, and now he's older, and it's been a long time since he fucked me, so we're friends now. But anyway,
who the hell has a male babysitter?
He
the hell?
Talk about it on the next Patreon. He he said I would cry while watching it, but I refused to turn it off.
Wow.
So I think it. But I loved Jaws as a kid. Loved it. 5 years old. That's not exaggeration. I watch it every day.
Wow. I watched Overboard every day when I was 5. I loved Overboard. And there's a throw to the end zone. He caught it down at the 43. First
it's like
down.
When I'm talking to my brother on the phone and I know he's watching sports because like every.
Why wouldn't you do that on the phone? This is a podcast. This is not a phone call.
Every 10 seconds, he'll be like, what the fuck? Like, it's like he has Tourette's. He's just like yelling, but I'm on the phone with him.
Maybe it's just because you're repeating a story you told already. I think this is a great episode. I'm not even kidding. I thought the 20-minute riff was great. The 30 minutes of broadcast news was whatever, but
we should do this more. One person doesn't care about the movie.
I care about the movie. I like the movie. I said a lot of things. I had some good insight. I talked about how we haven't even mentioned Jack Nicholson, by the way. I'm pointing out the Jack Nicholson factor. We didn't talk about that best scene, I thought. And I thought I had a great point about seeing what the woman is thinking right before she meets up with the guy that we relate to. I think these are all good points. Yeah. I think you're crazy about that, the ending. They want you to think that they got together.
I mean, maybe. I mean, but either way, it's a great ending. What was your critiques for the movie? Let's just do some critiques and then we can.
Are you kidding?
What?
I got Pizza Guy at 16:60. 9 minutes left. My critique is that I don't know. The outfits are a little silly. But anyway, I asked you a while ago. I was like, "What are the things that annoy you?" Or at least I meant to ask you.
I know you did ask me that. I think I don't know.
What if it's you that's ruining this episode and not me?
I think what's it's there's definitely nothing. I mean, it's not the most cinematic movie. What are you doing? What are you watching? What is the Cowboys, the Bebops, the Sharks, the Jets? What's going on? Who is it? the Heat, the Dawn, the what's
by the way, there's four NBA teams whose name doesn't end in S.
If I get them, will you be very surprised?
I would be shocked.
4 NBA teams that don't end in S?
Yes.
Not the Chicago Bulls.
It's the Heat.
The Heat. Oh shit! The Heat.
You said one of them.
The Heat. Not the Wizards.
You're not gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it.
You can't go through every team. People are sitting here listening.
Hold, just give me a second. The Celtics. No. The Heat. Fuck. All right. What are the?
This is
ones?
Bad radio. Heat. Right. Jazz. Magic. Thunder.
Kind of nerdy. Some really nerdy names in sports. Magic.
There's one called the Pelicans. It's so bad. It should be like the Rapists, the Eagles. I know, New Orleans Pelicans. It's embarrassing.
Sports are like tough, but there's a lot of birds, right? It's mostly birds. It's like it was like named by like bird watchers. Yeah, cats but Blue Jays and Cardinals and fucking dodo birds. It's just all birds.
It doesn't really make sense when you think about it, especially with football. That's why I actually think like soccer, it's just like, the football club. Like I actually like Washington football team makes more sense than like the Washington Apples.
Right. But yeah, it is. Yeah, it's weird, the birds, because it's like you want to have like a mascot that's, I don't know, isn't it supposed to be like a tough mascot, like a tiger? It's all fucking birds and bird songs and shit. It's just kind of weird.
Well, an eagle is like, you know what I mean?
I know, but a fucking cardinal's a little bitch, and ravens.
No, cardinals are nasty. I heard. I heard cardinals can really fuck you up or something. Oh my god, my pizza's getting here in 1 minute.
All right. Well, let's plug some shit. This is a great episode.
All right, Domino's Pizza in Dallas is one of the best.
That's our ad sponsor. Where can they?
I might have to run. Oh shit, he's here.
All right,
you wrap it up. Hold on. Hello?
Yeah. What? Wait.
Good. How are you? Yes.
Oh my god. I guess I'll do my plugs while he's doing this. You can see me. Let's see. You can see me at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm so excited for that gig. It's one of my favorite clubs on February.
Who cares? He's coming right up to the room.
I'm doing my plugs here. February 2nd through 5th or something. Or yeah, that's it. February 2nd through Comedy on State. I can't wait for that. Or February 3rd through 5th. And then I'm on the road with Louis in Europe. So if we have any fans in,
we got Europeans.
If we have any fans in Bucharest, Israel, Romania, or some Portugal, come on out. I'll be opening for Louis.
Did you find out who you're with yet?
Nah. Should I just email the manager and ask?
Yeah, find out. Then text me so I can shit on him.
That's not. Yeah, I'll just. Yeah, but anyway, I'm there with Louis, not Anderson, obviously. But the other one, and yeah. Also, my special. It's up to 50,000 views. That's pretty good. 2 weeks.
Hell yeah, 50,000 is great. Yes. What are you kidding? 50,000. It's a football stadium. That's a 16-16 playoff game.
A football stadium of people turned my special on for 2 seconds and then turned it off. That's pretty amazing when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate everyone who's watching and yeah. Also watch Donnelly on Fallon. He was amazing.
Oh, I got to check it out.
Yeah.
Boy, two portly, loud whites in a row.
I know. And wait, Jared Freed, wasn't he right behind us? I mean,
I don't know, but he's handsome though.
Yeah, is he? I guess so. Yeah, he's handsome.
I'm trying to make fun.
It
of
is two portly whites right in a row, and we're like old. I think Jimmy Fallon likes every comic I've seen on there is like, I'm old. Like I think Jimmy Fallon likes comics talking about being old.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a set on there. I got a special coming out in a film.
You should. They're taking anybody these days.
I did it once before.
It was great. It's one of my favorites. I was yeah, it was great.
All right, I got a pizza guy coming any second. Subscribe to the podcast. Tell your friends. Make sure you spread the word, for God's sake. Share it, comment, like, spread. Tell everybody. Join the Patreon. Our Patreon is hot. You got to see it. It's historic.
It's really great. It's great.
And go watch Lost in America. Way better movie than broadcast news. And I'll be in Key West in the end of February.
I got to email them. Yeah, Key West. Great club.
Yeah, and then Laugh Boston, Patriots Day weekend, April 14, 15, 16. That's going to be big. So come up, get tickets. I got to sell well in my city, for God's sake.
Oh, you'll sell well. You'll do great. All right. Well, it was a great episode. Thank you all for listening. And we'll be back next week with movies I convinced Joe that he chose. All right. Talk to you soon.
Kick ass.
Cut.
Cut.